Ladies and gentlemen, March 12th of 2022, we are here at Ryse Wrestling, the Uniontown Mall in Uniontown, Pennsylvania. Uniontown residents in the ring right now. Here, Rev. We're talking about raising money for a great cause. What is BC Steel and the Runway? What are they doing out here?
You know what? I'm the one that knows a little. Even know what they're doing out here. But unlike Christy, I like those jackets. It's not ridiculous to me, Christy.
I haven't seen someone that corrupt in a suit since Nixon.
He was a good man. He was a good man, Jim.
Hey, you're a hell of a judge of character, pal.
You know what? When you look at people like BC Stills, you look at people like the Runway, how can you... Yes, yes.
To a preliminary hearing.
My fellow Americans, it is I, the President of Connellsville, the Emperor of Fayette County, and the King of Independent Wrestling here in Pittsburgh. Thank you very much.
Clap for him, Jim. Clap for him.
Now, thank you to the Runway, Couture, and Tyler Klein, my Secret Service. And so the mayor of Connellsville, I'm actually pretty impressed that you're a human being, because I figured the mayor of Connellsville would be a pig in a bow tie.
Wait a minute, Greg Lincoln is not going to back down from BC Steel, and I don't blame him. The mayor's ready to rumble, Rev.
Here's picking a bow tie. That's not an insult. I love bacon.
Really fast, okay? You need to leave, BC. I am so sorry. I don't know how to excuse that.
Maybe the mayor can.
He's just lucky my neighbor's in his ring. They're going to be on his back.
Maybe the mayor can evict BC Steel.
I'm the mayor of Connellsville. Get some.
What type of mayor talks like that? What type of mayor acts like that?
We want to see all of you guys out at the telethon next on April 9th here at Ryse Wrestling. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Ryse Wrestling, R with a Y, R-Y-S-E Wrestling. Make sure you check us out, and Mayor, we might have to be back soon.
Mayor Lincoln and Ryse Wrestling could be a hell of a tag team, Paul.
Watch for it.
You guys guys are cheering for this, Jim. How do you cheer for this? He calls himself a mayor. What type of mayor insults the president of Connellsville? What type of mayor puts his hands on a guy like BC Steel? What type of mayor starts to brag about it, saying, "Here, I'll put you on your back if my daughter wasn't in the ring"? Oh yeah, that's showing class, all right. I guess it is. You know, if it was my president, BC Steel, he wouldn't touch him.
Dalton Throttle is a man wearing a lot of colors on that outfit, but he has certainly shown his true colors here in recent months, stabbing his best friend and trainer Brandon Kay in the back.
You call it a stab in the back, I just call it showing how much he loves to show energy and his passion for wrestling. And the crowd just can't appreciate that. You can't appreciate true passion here. It's absurd.
A man that became a cult hero in one night. The wrestling Cowpoke himself, Cowpoke Paul, is here. He's in Uniontown and he's ready to fight.
You know what? I will tell you this. The Rev's a man of fashion. While I may not like to say, yeah, what I can tell you is Cowpoke Paul does have some fashion on him. I saw him walking into the venue earlier today. Nice large cowboy boots on, nice great jacket, and of course that wonderful cowboy hat. But is that going to help him against a guy like wide open Dalton Throttle?
Well, as we've seen in recent months, there's no shortcut Dalton Throttle won't take, so that's certainly where Cowpoke Paul is going to have to be very, very careful here. Of course, as we know, he was thrust into the world of professional wrestling last minute. Just 1 month ago, he was defeated by Edric Everhart in his debut matchup, but he impressed a lot of people, opened a lot of eyes, and Cowpoke Paul could be jump-starting what very well may be a very successful wrestling career.
What I can tell you right now, for him to be as young as he is in the business, he has this crowd in the palm of his hands already, and that's half the battle right there. That's what we call in the sports field home field advantage, and I feel Cowpoke Paul has that just this early in his career. It's a good thing to see.
He wants his hands up.
Stupid crowd. Finger guns, Jim. Have you used finger guns when you were a kid? Oh my God, wait! What is he about to do? Is he tumbleweeding him?
I believe that is a tumbleweed, Rev.
Is that even legal, Jim?
Well, it is now. Shoulders down. This one could be over quickly. Cowpoke Paul, just 21 years old, and the pundits of Ryse Wrestling have already praised his skills, but there you can see the experience of Dalton Throttle coming into play. Cut Paul off at the pass there. I believe this unorthodox nature of Cowpoke Paul may be throwing Dalton Throttle, off of his game.
You know what, Jim? What I can tell you just from a wrestling standpoint, it's one thing to train for a person, but what happens when that person is unorthodox, such as a person like Cowpoke Paul? And I think that's what we're seeing right here. No matter how hard you train and how many years you have in the business, when you have a person that's unorthodox, it's very hard to prepare for those type of matches.
And speaking of unorthodox, I believe Dalton Throttle is being lassoed up here. That's a version of the Paradise Lock, and Dalton Throttle is helpless.
He's tied up. He is lassoed up.
He's in a precarious position, to say the least.
Come on now. I haven't even seen anyone got spanked like that since I was a kid, and it was my oldest sister getting in trouble for stealing my cookies.
And I believe the glutes of Dalton Throttle may be bruised. I'm going to tread very carefully trying to call that sequence.
Yeah, that's what we call in the world as a spanking.
And this right here, this is another sign of that experience from Dalton Throttle, because Cowpoke Paul made a mistake. Dalton Throttle suckered Cowpoke Paul in, and man, you heard the impact.
Beautiful veteranship from Dalton Throttle. That's what you only get. That's what you only get, Jim, when it comes to years of experience in this business. And I gotta love it. I love it.
When it comes to ring generalship, both inside and outside of those ring ropes, Dalton Throttle is showing right now why he has those years of experience. And now we're going to see that durability of Cowpoke Paul. How much does he have left in the tank here? Blatant breaking of the rules. No surprise there. The feet on the ropes.
Breaking of the rules. Don't you think that's a little bit biased? He was a little bit too close to the ropes. He wasn't trying to do it.
Yeah, he is again here because he's trying to use the ropes to gain an advantage.
Listen, Dalton Throttle was close to about 6+ feet long. See, he just said it right there. The ring's too small. The man needs a great ring. A great wrestler needs a great ring. This ring needs to be bigger.
Hot shot. Ode to Telly Blanchard right there. That extra spring for extra impact on the suplex. Shoulders down, finds 2.5, and did you notice how Dalton Throttle took that forearm and bridged it across the chin of Cowpoke Paul?
Yeah, I think it's one of those things when you look at it and you hear the crowd getting behind him, but it's all about that wearing down of the muscles. Two things that go out first, your back and your neck as a wrestler. And if you can wear down the neck, that's going to help from bridging out those kickouts.
And speaking of the muscles, the oxygen fuels those muscles, and I believe Cowpoke had all the oxygen driven out of him when he was draped across that top rope there. We know those are steel cables, and Cowpoke Paul teeting very precariously on the ring apron there. This matchup may be over very quickly here. Dangerous situation.
I think one thing you just said, Jim, a dangerous situation. You're looking at a guy like Dalton Throttle that knows what it's like to use the ring for his advantage. As you can see even right here, a little lasso. Right him, Dalton.
The referee's not going to stand for this, and neither will Throttle. Shoulders down. Escapes here. Cowpoke Paul out the back door. And man, again, that ring generalship, Dalton Throttle knew exactly when to cut Paul off.
I think one thing that I think we can both see here, Jim, is you see the amount of speed.
Wait a minute, cover here, hooks that back leg.
There we go. Stay on.
A rather arrogant cover by Dalton Throttle, but that's been his MO as of late.
I think a lot of times what I see here is Cowpoke Paul trying to really use that speed, but it's all about if you can think one step ahead of your opponent, you can stay in the game. And I think that's what we're seeing out of Dalton Throttle right now.
You want to talk about the vicious side of Dalton Throttle? He's targeting those kidneys. And gonna press the advantage here. Oh. Cowpoke Paul gets hung up on those steel cables, as we pointed out previously.
There you go. You see a little bit of swagger.
Cowpoke Paul has shown a ton of tenacity so far in his short Ryse career. But that tenacity, all that durability is going to be tested right here, especially with this body lock from Dalton Throttle, because to your point, to fuel those muscles, you need the oxygen, and Dalton Throttle is trying to squeeze and compress the ribcage of Cowpoke Paul.
Yeah, I think a lot of things that happen, I mean, even when you look at the simplicity, you don't have to be a wrestler to, right to the midsection here. You don't have to be a wrestler to understand how important it is to have that oxygen. I mean, it's a simple thing. You lose some of that oxygen, you get dizzy. You get dizzy, you lose some of that balance.
And clearly, Dalton Throttle has tried to target those ribs. That was his game plan coming into this match. And all the blood rushing to the head, that will disorient you. But beautiful leverage maneuver from Cowpoke Paul. That's true grit right there.
I think that's all attention right there. The crowd trying to get behind Paul right now. But is it enough, though?
That's some of that Chuck Connor's grit. That's an old school reference for you.
Paul wouldn't know a little bit about that, too. Oh!
Shoulders down. And if Dalton Throttle gets overconfident, he's going to end up looking up at the lights here, kind of like this here.
No. Come on, wake up, Dalton.
Cowpoke Paul may be inching closer and closer to a victory. Duck under here. And man, textbook spine buster.
And once again, you look at all of that pressure right there. I think he sent everything throttling from the heavens to the back.
As much as you may not like Dalton Throttle's attitude, his execution is so precise inside the squared circle.
And right now you see that energy getting right there with Dalton Throttle because he knows he has Cowpoke Paul exactly where he wants him. But the thing is, can he finish? I believe he can.
Look out here. Down across, and again, that was pure precision from Dalton Throttle. Targeted the top of the head and came down. That's a way. I mean, as an athlete yourself, Rev, you can attest to this. That can jar your neck, jar your spine.
Absolutely. I think it's one of those things where even going back, we looked at some of that precision that that Dalton Throttle was using a little bit earlier. We were talking about weakening that neck.
Wait, shoulders down here again.
No.
And inches away from an upset here. I believe we'd have to call it an upset.
This definitely would be a big upset, Jim. You were talking about, how early it is in Cowpoke Paul's career here in Ryse Wrestling. But here's the thing, can Paul rise to the occasion?
Michinoku driver from Dalton. And Paul, I believe that's Brandon K coming down the aisleway.
What is Brandon K doing out here?
Stay there, Brandon. Don't fall. Stay there. Yeah.
I don't know if Brandon checking on Cowpoke Paul. Brandon is the trainer of Cowpoke Paul. Let's not forget that Dalton Throttle has made it a habit of interjecting himself in Brandon's matches.
Oh, I think there's a deep history between Dalton Throttle and Brandon K here today, and I really think K's trying to get behind Cowpoke Paul. And wait a second. Brandon K rallying up the crowd right now to get behind Cowpoke Paul.
You can tell Cowpoke Paul has an infectious energy that this Uniontown crowd has really taken to, but right now he's in a bad way, but is Dalton Throttle wasting way too much time?
Oh! This could be it. Is he going to go for the pin? Dalton hasn't pinned yet.
And I believe Brandon is trying to tell Dalton Throttle to finish this matchup.
This is it.
Wait a minute, reversal, shoulders down!
Ain't no way! No way! I think Cowpoke Paul pulled the tights. I don't know about that, Jim. I don't think that was fair and square.
Hey, Rev, do you believe in miracles? You're a man of faith. We may have just seen the Uniontown miracle. Cowpoke Paul with his first ever victory in professional wrestling.
Dalton Throttle is all revved up right now. I believe in miracles, Jim, but I don't believe in flukes, and I think that was a fluke. Something had to happen here. I don't believe that was fair and square.
Well, Rev, wait a minute. This rivalry between Brandon and Dalton is very personal. And security is having to restrain Dalton Throttle in a small measure of revenge for Brandon K. Cowpoke Paul rides off into the sunset as a victor, as the winner here at Ryse Wrestling. Cowpoke Paul was victorious, and Laura Loveless may look to double down on that as she's going to try to rack up her second victory in a row here since returning to Ryse Wrestling.
Absolutely, but it's all about how much does she really want it, and I think she really proved how she wanted it just at the last event here at Ryse Wrestling by getting that W over Scarlett.
Well, Cowpoke Paul had an upset victory, but I believe there will be no flukes here. is one of the most charismatic, one of the toughest, and one of the most resilient athletes anywhere in independent wrestling today. She is the undeniable Ziggy Haim. And as a former Ryse Grand Champion, Ziggy looks to start her path to reclaim that championship here tonight in Uniontown.
You know, I hate to agree with you, Jim, but you are absolutely correct right there. You're looking at a woman that has been definitely killing it here in not only Ryse Wrestling, but all across the indie wrestling world. Not only in social media, but in person, racking up championships after championships. And the thing is, she's making her return here to Ryse Wrestling. How energized do you feel she is about this match tonight?
You can feel the energy in this building, and the unpredictable Laura Loveless, she's a little unbalanced, and she's starting this one off quick. Side headlock from Ziggy here. Ziggy, based on her height and her stature, may be the underdog in this matchup, but you cannot measure heart rev. You can speak to that.
Absolutely. You know, it goes back to that old adage, Jim. It's not about the size of the dog in the fight, but the size of the fight in the dog. But I think both of these competitors tonight both have that same equal amount of fight. Now it's about who can take it to that next level and who has more grit right now.
Absolutely true here. Ziggy gets sent off, ducks the clothesline, and comes through, and that is what makes Ziggy Haim so dynamic. She can generate offense from anywhere.
I think one of the things when looking at a wrestler is not only how you prepare for it, but how you can adjust on the fly. And I think that's one of the things we've even seen just early in this match is,
oh man, Ziggy may have just gotten a little over enthusiastic and got caught there, but that's how dangerous Laura Loveless is, because she will inflict damage in any scenario, any part of the ring she can use as a weapon. Quite frankly, if it's not nailed down, that could be in the hands of Laura Loveless, because she is one unbalanced and one talented athlete, and that's a dangerous combination.
You know, Jim, the rev is
oh man, Ziggy got posted.
The rev is all about reading spirit and reading energy, and Laura Loveless comes across as a person that has just a certain level of something you just can't put your thumbprint on. And it's unpredictable.
Yeah, and speaking of unpredictable, forget about going for the cover. Laura wanted to throw in a few shots to the face first. But the resiliency of Ziggy is going to be on display here all night, because she will not give up. That's been a trademark of her career.
Absolutely. You're looking at a competitor, just like you said, Ziggy, one to not give up. But you also look at one like Laura Loveless, who is one that is laser focused on executing pain and bringing pain to her opponent by any means necessary. You can see she's tried to stay on top of Ziggy since the beginning of this match.
Hits the buckle hard there. And notice how Laura had no space, was able to follow right in, press forward, and press the advantage. Not allowing Ziggy Haim any room to breathe. Paul, she scares me.
Listen, she is one scary
Went to the well once too often that time. And as good as Ziggy Haim is, I believe her best years are ahead of her. She's really just entering her prime now.
Right off the rope.
Diving leg drop, innovative offense, hooks that leg, back press, not quite enough.
Man, just like you were talking about, Jim, innovative offense, how do you prepare for things that even as soon as you get off of your feet, someone is right in front of your face? And I think that's what we're looking at right now. You're looking at grit and tenacity from Laura Loveless. You're looking at speed and agility, and also the unpredictability from Ziggy. This is a great matchup that any one of these competitors can win.
Look out here.
Uh-oh, she's going for a finish right there.
That's a Ziggy specialty if she can hit it.
Mazel tov cocktail. She's going for, wait, you're getting the hair pulled right there.
And that's what I'm saying. That's how dangerous Laura Loveless is, because the hair was there to be yanked. And Laura was trying to take some follicles out, but Ziggy, fighting for everything she got, was able to counter out of it. And again, this action spilling outside the ring.
I've been one that has been following both of these competitors since day one. And what I can tell you about a person like
Laura Loveless. Wait a minute, Rev, Laura may be out of here.
Well, I was going to say that she's a person by any means necessary, but this is a smart move. Save your body. Wait a second.
Whoa! Scarlett, we saw last month.
Uh-oh.
Scarlett vowed revenge.
Uh-oh. Scarlett looks like she's coming from blood. Laura stole a win off of Scarlett last event here at Ryse Wrestling, and Scarlett's coming for blood.
And Scarlett doesn't care who you are. She's here to fight.
Wait a second, Scarlett wants some blood for herself. She said, let me have her.
The Berserker is in the building.
What?
Wait a minute. That wasn't accidental. Oh! Rev, I believe this is a damn setup is what we're seeing here.
Wait a second. What in the world?
As a result of a disqualification, Ziggy Haim.
You know what, Jim? I'm dumbfounded. These two working together. These two are just killing each other last month. How are they working together now?
Well, this has to be a damn setup, Rev. Someone had a plan. Laura Loveless, she had an ace in the hole. She had a Berserker behind the scenes.
Call it a
And
setup.
Ziggy got blindsided.
Call it a setup, call it a smalls, whatever you wanted, a plan and execution, but what is behind it?
Hold on here, Rev. Here's the bottom line. Ziggy is on her feet, and you can bet your bottom dollar that this one ain't over. One of the absolute sickest and demented individuals to ever step foot in the 5-year history of Ryse Wrestling, Christian Noir, has absolutely no fear of anyone and no peers to match just how dangerous he can be inside or outside of those ring ropes.
I've stepped in a ring with Christian a lot of times, and I'll tell you, how can you have fear when you are fear itself?
Rev, you can vouch for this. Ryse Wrestling is about giving opportunity to athletes that are ready to really break out, and I believe Chase Oliver is one of those guys.
Absolutely, already starting off hot, having a win underneath his belt, but the thing is, he wants to continue. I think any wrestler wants to continue, and it's about who wants it the most, who's coming for it.
Chase Oliver has an unbelievable amount of athleticism, and the things he can do can be breathtaking at times, but you really have to be cautious no matter how confident, no matter how skilled you are. Noir can capitalize on any mistake and make you pay big time.
Absolutely, and I even think pay is an understatement because you're looking at a guy that's not only looking to beat you when you look at Christian Noir, looking at a guy that wants to take your soul to another level. You know, a little bit of a spiritual warfare per se.
Noir able to counter out of it here into the waist lock. Chase Oliver getting that lower base to try to bridge out of it, grabs wrist control.
Great work.
Noir trying to roll through to neutralize the pressure and does so, and we're really seeing how evenly matched these two young athletes are.
I think it's one of those things, you look at a person like Christian Noir, very well done. You look at a person like Christian Noir, not only does he have that fear that's within his eyes, but he can roll around. He's a technician on the mat as well. So
back heel trip transitions right into the side headwalk. Notice how Noir used that back heel trip to get Oliver down to the canvas and then was able to press the advantage of that side headlock. Of course, Oliver was very smart there, able to get these shoulders down of Noir for that 1 second to create some space, and that's going to allow Oliver to counter here. And this physical chess match is really one of the highlights of Ryse Wrestling. Is so much crisp technique. And these two really personify that.
When you look at a company like Ryse Wrestling, you know, I think with these two, and we've been seeing it with a former and fast, you're looking at some of the best here in the Western Pennsylvania area under the roof of Ryse Wrestling.
Oliver hangs on, sweeps the leg, shoulders down here.
Kick out.
Oliver now trying to get this one over early. And Noir on his heels here, but able to avoid the contact and follow in with that strike. And man, Oliver is so quick.
Go up and over.
Oliver just one step ahead so far. Shoulders down again.
And he wasn't good enough. Just a 2 count right there. You're looking at a person like Christian Noir, where I think Oliver's doing a great job at trying to stay on top of him. All it takes is 1 second, as you can see right there, to just have you off your game. You're in the ring
full
like
stop of the momentum of Chase Oliver. 2 feet firmly in the chest. Oh, unbelievable agility. So dynamic is the young Chase Oliver.
There's the thing. If I was him, I would stay on top of Christian Noir.
Yeah, going up to the ropes here may be a mistake. And Noir caught him. Look at the power. Oliver was going for a home run swing, and he paid for it. He got planted.
That's what we were talking about right there. You're looking at speed versus strength. Speed versus strength. Right.
Hooks that leg. Rev, if you can, please speak to the importance of hooking that leg, the added leverage it gives a pinfall attempt.
Yeah, I think, you know, when you're wrestling, you're training, you know, all about hooking that leg. What that leg does is if you raise that weight right above it, it's called what we call stacking in pro wrestling. So to get that extra weight right there is also using their body weight against them.
And we're seeing that kamikaze mentality of Noir using his head as a weapon.
Christian Noir is one of those type of people that he doesn't care about putting his body in harm as long as he can get the job done.
And you don't want to be boxed in the corner with Noir. He is a vicious athlete.
It's almost like, in a way, you know, you see this methodical pacing of You see this methodical pacing of Christian Noir, almost like you can kind of read his mind in a way of how he's thinking, how can I inflict further pain on my opponent? And that's a dangerous thing.
Very true. You know, Noir is always trying to look to inflict the maximum amount of damage. And that's why he's been so successful over the years here in Ryse Wrestling.
You know, I think having these different conversations.
Right there, I'm sorry to cut you off, Red, but if you notice, Noir dropped the point of the elbow right to the base of the neck.
You were talking about it and inflicting as much pain as possible, man. Christian Noir reminds me of what was like your 3rd or 4th ex-wife that was inflicting pain. Was it 5th or 6th?
Brother, I'm not dumb enough to get married.
They're smarter than Ric Flair, I tell you that.
Shoots the half here.
Uh-oh.
Hooks that leg.
And I think what you're seeing here is with a person like Chase Oliver, he's slowly kicking out a little bit slower. And I think it goes back to Christian Noir trying to use all of that body weight against him. It's going to wear an opponent down.
Noir here sends Oliver into the ropes.
Beautiful. Oh.
Shoulders down, almost had two. Oliver really going to push forward here. He knows he may be on borrowed time with Noir. And that's that kamikaze mentality once again. Noir hurling his body at Oliver.
I think one thing I would just want to give credit to Chase Oliver here is he's trying to use Chase Oliver trying to use that speed advantage, and what a lot of people don't understand is when it comes to pins, it's not about power. It takes 3 seconds to win the match. So if you can use that speed and catch him off guard, that's all it takes to win a match.
And Noir may be looking to end this one here. We may be seeing the end of this matchup. But Oliver's going to continue to fight, trying to use that speed. Misdirection play here. Hurricane Rana. Offense from every angle with Chase Oliver.
Oh! You can hear that all the way in the back row. Christian Noir might be on Dream Streak right now.
I believe he's on Nightmare Street. Look at him. Look at that guy. He's not dreaming of anything. 2.5.
You know what? I was really hoping that Christian Noir kicked out of that, which he did. But in a way, I wanted him to actually get pinned right there so I could stop listening to your dad jokes over here. I mean, come on, Jim.
Chase Oliver could be going for a big swing here. Trying to find something. If you're Chase Oliver, you have to be asking yourself, what are you going to have to do to put away Noir?
And I think that's one thing right there. That takes a toll on you mentally right there. What more do you have to do? You might not have to do anything else if Chris Noir can get this 3 counts.
Could be all here. Oliver got the shoulder up, but you can tell with each kick out there, it's getting more and more labored for young Chase Oliver.
And I think, honestly, it's about time. You know, it's one of those things where if you're Chase Oliver, you want to try to finish this match as much as possible. But I think the longer it goes, it starts to get that fear field in the field of Christian Noir right there, where that can work for Christian Noir.
And you know, the mind of Noir has to be spinning here. Goes for a soccer kick. Could be a pivotal mistake here. Noir out the back door. Oliver trying it again here.
Pin after pin after pin. Backslide.
We're seeing the struggle here.
And another one.
Oliver avoids the contact. He got
Oh
him.
my gosh.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this match, no pressure, Chase Oliver!
By the slimmest of margins, Chase Oliver gets himself a victory, and he damn sure earned it tonight because we just saw a barn burner of a contest. Ryse Wrestling personified, 2 young athletes putting it on the line for the competition of professional wrestling.
But here's the thing, Jim, I need to ask you. He's looking Christian Noir right in the eyes right here. How many survive looking death, looking power, looking strength, looking fear in its eyes right now? Chase Oliver asking to shake Christian Noir's hands. Is Christian Noir going to shake his hand? Well, I think by that, Jim, I don't think this is over by any shape of the imagination.
One thing I know for sure, Rev, the future is bright for Chase Oliver here in Ryse Wrestling. My name's Jim Amato, being joined by Rev Ron Hunt and Edric Everhart. Maybe a talented athlete, but many have been questioning his motivations for several months. He went to war with Matt Conard at that 5th anniversary show, and we may see just how much that took out of Edric here tonight in Uniontown. The personification of a can of Red Bull, yes, Drake sir. Braddock.
Yes, sir. I'm more of a Zoa energy drink, but you know, listen, whenever he's drinking, I want some of that, and I think he's excited because Drake is making his return back, and the crowd is with him, Jim. The crowd's with him.
The most energetic athlete on the Ryse roster. The military veteran, the martial arts expert, and of course, the one and only Drake Braddock is a special brand of Ryse wrestling all its own.
Let me ask you this. He's asking for, what is a yes, sir? What is a yes, sir?
It's a simple answer. Yes or no.
Well, I can't say no, sir. It says yes, sir. What if I'm not a yes man?
How else you get this job? I thought that's why you're here. You're a yes man.
Well, yeah, I just secured the bag. That's all. It works.
Referee Nick Brown signed this contest.
I think this is going to be a very good matchup.
Well, we have two experienced professionals here. And I think you're seeing the best of the young lions of Ryse Wrestling. These two have just enough experience with just enough youth to bring the best. We're seeing Drake Braddock, Edric Everhart in their respective primes with the collar and elbow tie up here.
Edric wants them to shut up.
Swing and a miss from Edric, and you don't want to test the karate master with the striking.
Those tight buzzsaw-like kicks right there will give you a Charlie horse in a second, I'll tell you that. Beautiful.
Wise leverage maneuver, but Edric getting a little overconfident. Oh! And he may be having his teeth in the third rope. You know, Rev, I'm going to tell you, Edric Everhart, I believe, is a little delusional. This guy believes he's entitled to the Ryse Grand Championship.
Well, I think you say a little bit of delusional. I say you knowing what you want.
Look out! Suicide dive takes out Edric.
Sometimes when you know what you want, everyone doesn't have to agree with you, but, you know, if you know what you want, I say stick to your guns.
I mean, all due respect to Cowpoke Paul, we see him get his first victory earlier this evening, which was a hell of a moment. But Edric beating Cowpoke Paul, you beat the kid in his first match. It's not exactly a #1 contenders matchup, I don't think.
Listen, a win is a win, no matter who's it with. If you're strong enough to be a wrestler, you're strong enough to take an L, and I think if you're strong enough to get that win, you deserve anything you want.
And Drake Braddock got hung up in the ropes. Edric Everhart, it was a shortcut, but it was damn sure effective. Very resourceful was Edric Everhart. You don't have to like his attitude, but he will exploit any and all advantages.
Joe, let me ask you a question. I hear you say the word shortcut. I hear you say the word using advantages. You seem a little biased here tonight, if the ref says so.
Snap suplex, and you can see the pain radiating from the body of Drake Braddock.
It's all about shocking the system. You can shock the system. It doesn't take an intricate move, something strong and powerful.
And we know Drake Braddock's going to fight. That's in his DNA. But Edric Everhart, like I said, being very resourceful here. Ooh. And driving Drake Braddock sternum first into that buckle. Notice how Edric, a former Ryse tag team champion here with Ty Cross, is now using the ring as a tag team partner, using those buckles as a weapon.
The thing is, Jim, you got to get the job done by any means necessary. So I'm going to give credit.
That's what Malcolm said. You're right.
I'm going to give credit to him. He's using it.
I'm not giving you credit for that quote, pal.
No, you have. What do you mean? I made the quote.
Drake Braddock here trying to rally back. Got way too overzealous there. Ran into the boots. And I believe we're really at a stalemate here because these two, you can just see how evenly matched they are with the strikes, with the technique, with the speed. I don't think anybody can match the obnoxiousness of Edric Everhart, though.
You call about obnoxious, I call it talking with your strengths. You know, if you have confidence in yourself, I say you boast as loud as you want, Jim.
You want to talk about loud? It's those shots to the face. Oh God!
How you like that boot? How you like that boot, Drake?
Drake Braddock's jaw may have just been booted through the back of his head. That was nasty impact.
You want to talk about a veteran right there? I think that boot came in like a gunshot, honestly. All those rallying qualities that we talked about got shut off real quick there. I saw Drake checking his teeth a little bit to make sure everything was intact for a quick second.
Oh, God, release German.
Wait, what? What? That would take anybody out.
Drake Braddock is firing up.
Oh!
And a Saito suplex absolutely spikes the Keystone Soldier.
Back to back on the neck, Jim. How much further pain can he take
Drake
tonight?
Braddock may be out of it. Able to get out the back door.
And I don't
This is a hell of a matchup here.
You call it luck. You call it out of nowhere right there. I call that a little bit of fighting spirit right there from Drake Braddock. I think going back to that military experience we were talking about.
How in the world did Drake Braddock absorb getting dropped on his head not once but twice? That is all toughness.
I think it's all about how much you want it. We call it football grit. Come on, Edric. Wake up. Wake up, Edric.
What a combination.
There you go. Oh!
And could Drake Braddock have a successful return here to Ryse?
That buzzsaw kick, he said, Edric, if you're going to put me on the back of my head, I'm going to kick you in the back of yours. Let's see who's going to like it more. Right now, Edric straight on his back, looking up at the stars right now.
The Keystone Soldier could be gone for his coup de grace here. But it's called high risk for a reason, and Drake just got caught. He took that high risk, and he's paying for it. Precarious spot here. One shove one way or the other could put Drake Braddock onto the concrete.
It just takes you to be on Dream Street for a little bit, and you to not to know your awareness in that ring is all it takes, Jim.
Wait a minute. Dragon Sweeper. Drake Braddock with a submission maneuver, very innovative. It's a defensive maneuver in this case, but Edric is in the ropes.
He's on the ropes. That's a rope break. Great job by our referee, Nick.
The circumstances of that situation allowed for a reprieve for Edric Everhart, but for how long? Because Drake Braddock is in the zone.
He's going up. He believes he can flow. Knees right to the back of the neck. And
rolling elbow right to the base of the neck. That's where he's been targeting.
Oh!
And again, the brain buster all on the neck, and that... No!
Are you kidding? Ref, you gotta count quicker, ref. Come on. I think this ref was bought by Drake Braddock. That should have been a 3, Jim.
Drake Braddock is all heart, brother.
You call that all hurt? I think he might have paid off the ref. I could have sworn that was a 3 count, Jim.
It was damn close, I'll tell you that. And I'm going to go back to the fact that we are seeing 2 prime athletes right here. That's all this is. And look at how confident Edric is. Doesn't realize that Drake was a little more aware. And that may cost Edric right here. Hooks both legs.
Jim, let's just talk about how great of an equal matchup this has been back and forth. Right when you think someone is going to win, big kick out at 2, and they're still fighting to see who wants it more, almost like a pissing contest.
That's one way to say it. First Noir and Chase Oliver, followed up by Drake Braddock and Edric Everhart. This is competition. This is the sport of professional wrestling on display right here. Big time chance for Drake Braddock. And again, Edric going to exploit an advantage.
That wasn't an advantage. He slipped. There might have been a wet spot in the ring. I think he slipped on the wet spot. You can't help yourself slipping. Oh!
Drake Braddock is reaching down into those reserves. But he got caught with that cutter. Pinpoint precision. And good night.
And that's all it takes right there, Jim. Just a quick second. Edric was able to capitalize on that. You called something a little bit of dirty. You talked about taking advantage. I just call that doing what you do, being aware of where you at and making the best out of it.
He may be delusional, but we may be calling Edric Everhart a future contender for that grand championship. Because he is a quality athlete. And I believe Edric Everhart can go step for step with anybody inside that Ryse ring.
And I think even when you just look at the face of him, look at him talking to the people at home right there, letting them know who exactly he is. And as you can see, that confidence right there, Jim, that means he's still in this. He means business. He wants to keep climbing up that ladder here at Ryse Wrestling.
Here's Eddie's flag team and schedule
Well, Paul, Cowpoke Paul had a victory earlier, but before that, it was actually this trio that ruined our opening segment here with the mayor of Uniontown.
You call it ruin, I call making it better, because you're looking at right here, BC Steel, Collinsville's president. Such a beautiful man. Look at that tracksuit.
You know, as ironic as it is,
introducing our opponents.
Now, wait a minute here, Rev. We know Tad Jarvis is supposed to be in this matchup. Brandon has a severe ankle injury.
A vicious monster broke my foot by the name of Christy K over there.
Brandon might have deserved it. I don't know.
I didn't tell you who your partner was. I want to keep it close to the vest. In fact, I think everybody's going to like it.
It's me. Wait. Who can it be? That's not my theme music, though. I'm supposed to be the opponent. I'm supposed to be the tag partner.
No way!
Oh my God! What?
We have have not seen Gory in Ryse Wrestling in nearly 3 years, but he's in Uniontown, the New Age Plague, a Pittsburgh icon.
I have goosebumps right now, Jim.
And whatever game plan BC Steel had, he better throw it out the window because there is no one like Gory.
You're talking about a guy that's not only a legend in Pittsburgh, but has been collecting gold no matter where he went, all across the independent circuit. Has been seen at the national level, and is teaming up with Tad Jarvis tonight. I think a beautiful chess piece for Brandon K.
You're not safe out there, pal. Oh! Stereo dives, and the runway has been flattened.
And I don't know about you, but just to feel the presence of Gory coming out of that locker room, it's an energy that you can only feel if you're right here live at Ryse Wrestling. Unreal. Can't believe he's here tonight.
Gory, a nearly 20-year pro and one of the best to ever lace up a pair of boots in Pittsburgh. As you mentioned, he's won championships all over the place.
You want to talk about a person that's unpredictable, a person that takes things to the next level just by being in the very ring as you, that's Gory right now.
When it comes to the cruiserweight style of wrestling, Gory is an absolute trailblazer in Pittsburgh and beyond.
You had that right, Jim.
Diving knees in the corner. Look at how ferocious Gory is right there.
You know what? I was a little bit concerned about this match when I heard that Brandon K couldn't wrestle tonight, and I was wondering who his opponent was going to be. Hold up.
Wait a minute, cover here.
And who was going to back up Tad Jarvis, but to see Gory come out, I'm not going to lie, I'm a little concerned for the runway right now. BC still fanning his head right now, but I still say they got it tonight.
Rev, don't get me wrong, the Runway is an absolute top-tier tag team, but I don't know how anyone can prepare for Gory on quite literally a moment's notice.
You want to know how you do it? When you have the wit like a person like Couture and Tyler Klein, when you got a person in their corner like BC Steel, that's how you do it, Jim.
Tad Jarvis is a young man that's really just now finding himself in his career, and you can see the growth each and every time he steps into the ring.
I think he's studying off of TikTok. I think he looks at my wrestling clips on there.
And man, Tad made just one mistake, and BC was able to take advantage.
It's all about that youthfulness right there. You call it taking advantage, I just call it, hey, if you don't talk a lot of stuff, hey, put your money where your mouth is. He said, this is for you, BC. BC said, no, this is for you.
And this is classic tag team strategy by the Runway, keeping Tad Jarvis in their half of the ring.
And I think that's one thing that you gain from the knowledge of having a person like BC in your corner, being able to mentor you. That's the whole art as they blow that beautiful kiss right there of tag team action. Hold on.
Hooks that leg.
That's the whole art from him, to cut that ring in half, play that advantage over into your side, and you give yourself a better advantage to win.
To your point, Rev, BC Steel has managed tag teams to championships in literally every major promotion in Pittsburgh wrestling history. Over his 22 years involved in the wrestling business, BC Steel has managed more champions than just about anybody else. And you can go all the way back to names like Hotshot Drew Lazario, who was extremely successful. In all respect to Drew Lazario, I believe even BC Steel may have surpassed him.
And it's one of those things that, you know, you can't teach. It's not by a fluke, but that all comes with that veteranship and that knowledge. And you can clearly see that being passed over to the Runway, Couture and Tyler Klein.
And I'm going to tell you something right now. BC claims to be the president of Uniontown, and despite how sleazy BC Steel is, BC would not be the worst candidate that people could vote for president.
You call it sleazy, I call it smart, strategic. BC is a mastermind. He's a genius, a freaking genius. Sleazy.
What the hell is BC doing at ringside?
What do you mean? He's teaching them how to win and get eventual gold. Oh! Right on the trachea there, I believe, on Tad Jarvis. I think it comes to the point right now, Jim.
Notice how Calvin put himself between Tad Jarvis and Gory right there. That is a critical moment in this matchup. That is tag team wrestling. Tag from Gory, but I believe referee George Ross did not see it.
George didn't see it. It doesn't count if the ref doesn't see it.
And unfortunately, right now, the numbers game is just overwhelming Tad Jarvis. As we said, we've seen his growth throughout his time in Ryse Wrestling. You can literally watch him grow as a professional wrestler on IndyWrestling.us. But right now, one wrestler is not going to combat three individuals. Beautiful tandem offense here from the Runway. And Gory's had enough.
It's one of those things where Gory feels like he should be the legal person in it, but our referee didn't see it, so Gory has to wait his time. Hey, it's the name of the game. I think it's a smart strategy.
And again, I'm going to point out the positioning of the Runway. They are keeping themselves between Tad Jarvis and Gory. They are not letting any air for Jarvis to breathe.
I mean, let me ask you this, Jim, because I know this from personal experience. If you are the Runway, you probably wouldn't want Gory to be tagged in right now, neither, by the looks of how he is on the outside of the ring.
Well, Gory may never get a chance to check into this matchup because the Runway is really hammering Tad right now. Avoids the contact and makes the tag.
No. Oh, no.
The New Age plague is looking to infect Ryse Wrestling right now.
Get your vaccinations for his infection right now, ladies and gentlemen, before he bites you.
Yeah, I just realized it's a hell of a pun. And those are a hell of a kicks right there.
No.
2.5. Hey, Rev.
Oh, gosh.
I'm boosted, and so is Gory by the looks of it, man. He is all action.
You know what? How would you feel? 3 years away, I'll tell you as a talent, when you get the crowd behind you like you hear them right now.
Think about it, Rev. Gory has not been in a Ryse ring in a few years, and listen to this response. Very uncomfortable landing for Tyler Klein, to say the least.
Tad Jarvis back in the ring right now, but you got to think,
Speaking of TikTok, that may be a TikTok right there because Tyler Klein just went up into the lights. And what is BC Steel doing? Gory gets hung up. And again, this numbers game may just be too much.
What do you mean, what is he doing? Gory wasn't even a legal person. BC's making sure that everything is fair and square. Beautiful job.
Tad got planted. He got absolutely spiked. Hooks that leg. No, I am shocked. Tad Jarvis is putting up a fight here.
Come on, George. Come on. Are you blind? That was clearly 3.
And the Runway is, they may have to dig deeper into the playbook here. Ukrainian leg sweep combination.
This could be it.
Could be it here.
Oh, come on. Come on.
I believe BC Steel is weeping at ringside. Paul, he's a grown adult, and the man is crying in public.
He's not crying. There's dust in his eyes, man. Red.
Wait a minute. Runway here could be going for that classic heart attack. Gory intercepts. And now he's gnawing on the cranium of Calvin Couture.
Come on.
What the hell is BC Steel doing?
BC's trying to get out the ropes. He's stuck. George won't let him get off the ropes.
Everything is breaking down here. Missed in the face. Shoulders down.
Unbelievable.
Turnabout is fair play.
Unbelievable. You have to be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. You know what? I was excited about Gory until he spit in the face of the Runway and we're in a pandemic. Is that the man that you cheer for, Jim?
Everyone, I wish health and safety to us all. But tonight, in Uniontown, Pennsylvania, Ryse is infected with the New Age plague.
Introducing first, from the City of Champions, weighing in at 240 pounds, representing the Ryse Tag Team Champions, the great success, the successful
A legitimate Emmy award-winning athlete. Rev, I'm going to tell you right now, you're a man familiar with Jordan Styles. I'm going to go on record and say it right here, March 12th of 2022. I believe 2022 will be the year of Jordan Styles.
I mean, when you're looking at the man bleeds gold, he's holding gold in his hand, gold around his jacket, gold, 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 gold. You want to know why? Because of that smile right there, he is simply better. Here's my question, though. This is my concern. I love my boy Jordan, but how simply better going to get through this?
Perhaps the toughest test in Ryse Wrestling is Matt Conard. The standard of Ryse Wrestling may be Matt Conard because he has no chinks in the armor, no flaws in the game, and when he re-emerged here in Ryse late last year, we saw a completely rejuvenated and refocused Reaper. 2022 may be the year for Jordan Styles, but March 12th may be the night for Matt Conard.
I think I couldn't have said it any better than that, Jim. You're looking at a guy, just as we talked about, a two-time. You know how hard it is to get your hands on that precious gold one time, let alone two times. His accolades speak for himself, not only here in Pittsburgh Pro Wrestling, but pro wrestling as a whole. Right now, what you're looking at is literally a dead man walking.
Matt Conard, along with being a former Ryse Grand Champion, has held titles all around the tri-state area. Held championships in IWA East Coast, Rockstar Pro. Across the board has Matt Conard.
I think Matt's already getting in the head of Jordan Styles already before the bell even rings.
You know, Rev, this event is titled the IceMan Cometh. And you want to talk about a cold, calculating stare, that is Matt Conard. And you can see in those cold eyes right now, they just scared the hell out of Jordan Styles. The successful Saint being dragged to his doom here.
Oh.
And we know that Conard is a top-tier striker.
I can't talk about more of the fear that was in Jordan Styles' eye as soon as Matt Conard looked right at him. Jim, have you ever looked death in its eyes before?
I believe that's what Jordan's doing right now, is he just caught another back elbow to the face, a Muay Thai clinch, and that really goes with the MO of Conard, using fists and elbows, knees. Ducks here. Conard made contact that time.
I think it's one of those things, you look in the eyes of the Reaper Matt Conard, you see a man that's focused. You see an entity that knows what he's about to do by looking at those strategic strikes right there and the accuracy of them. The thing is, can Jordan get back on top and use that mentality and intelligence that has earned him all those Emmys to defeat the Reaper Matt Conard tonight?
As much finesse as Jordan Styles has inside the ring ropes, I believe that's why Conard is trying to rough up Jordan Styles, trying to get the successful Saint off of any game plan he may have had coming into this matchup. Because let me tell you, when that bell rings and you're standing there eye to eye, as you said with Matt Conard, that is a very harsh reality check. And I believe that's why Jordan is seeking the safety of the outside here.
You know what? If I was Jordan, I'd be seeking the safety of the outside too. And my personal opinion, this isn't fair to Jordan Styles because Jordan shouldn't be in this match in the first place. Look at the video that was on the Ryse Facebook page. If it wasn't for Chris LaRusso, Jordan wouldn't even be in this match right now. I feel like Jordan is getting punished tonight, and I don't agree with it.
Well, Jordan's getting punished when he hit that buckle there. Conard charges in. And notice how seamless Matt Conard is with each and every maneuver. Those transitions are so smooth, generating offense. Beautiful pump kick to the face.
And it looks like Jordan is knocked out.
Excuse me, Mr. Conard. Mr. Conard, I need your undivided attention. So
What's the meaning of this, Rev?
Is that Dr. Martin?
Where did this obsession with death come from? Was it some sort of childhood tragedy, trauma, a loss, some loved parent?
Well, that macabre video has distracted Matt Conard, and Jordan just clipped the knee. Conard may be in real trouble here. He's clutching that knee. That may be an MCL issue, an ACL injury, something.
And that's all it takes to get Matt Conard off his game. You're looking at a guy, Dr. Carl Martin right there, complete mastermind, a sinister. Oh, look at that power.
Well, the momentum is completely turned here. Conard went from being in complete control to now on the defensive, and
you know, I gotta give it up.
What is the story with this doctor here claiming he's going to help Matt Conard?
You know, typically the Rev knows a little bit about what's going on, but listen, when you look at a person like Dr. Carl Martin right there, I mean, that's a guy that's a sinister, methodical human being.
Conard got dropped on the back of his head a few moments ago, and you can see he's trying to shake those cobwebs out, trying to clear his mind here. But again, that knee may have completely changed the complexion of this matchup.
I think when you look at it right there, you're talking about just changing how this matchup is. You know, I believe for a split second, if it wasn't for that interruption from Dr. Martin, this match right now, where we are right now, it could be totally different right now. But I want to give credit to Jordan Styles for taking advantage where it is. You know, the name of the game is protect yourself at all times. And Jordan capitalized on that moment of distraction on the Reaper Matt Conard.
And what's Jordan going for here? We know he's a man that's not afraid to take a shortcut. He's going to get some blatant choking in here as our official is trying to make sure that turnbuckle pad didn't get dislodged.
You call it a shortcut, I call it being an opportunist. Nothing wrong with it. Rev has been an opportunist many times in the ring.
Yeah, here's a shocker.
Oh!
You heard that. Jordan won an Emmy. He may be seeing stars after this one.
Oh!
And that was a very resourceful maneuver right there, snapping the knee down, and Jordan may look to end this one. This could be the biggest victory in Jordan Styles' career right here.
Look at the power. Power of that deadlift double arm suplex right there. One thing that I can say about this, Jim, I want to give credit to Jordan with, you see a little bit of a height disadvantage right there between Jordan, and Jordan went right for that leg. That's the name of the game. If you see a little bit of an advantage, if that person is taller, chop them down to your level. It gives you a better fairness to win the match.
Very true. That's the method of the madness for Jordan Styles. As you said, Conard had the height advantage, but not currently.
Conard getting back up on his feet. Jordan trying to stay on top. And the last thing you want is to allow the Reaper Matt Conard to get back up on his feet.
Conard countered there, but I don't know if that's going to buy him enough time.
Right now, I say it's working. I say this is where that veteranship is showing up. Let's see if he can stay on top of it. And right now, Matt Conard is fighting back from the ground up.
You can see Conard really cannot plant that foot to generate any force with those strikes. And not only the height advantage, but also the power in that noted striking game for Conard is completely compromised. It's a desperation maneuver right there.
Big Enziguri.
As was that. Bottom drops out.
Jordan kicking out on the hair of his chin. Great. Come on, Jordan. Come on.
Rev, what would it mean for the career of Jordan Styles if he defeats Matt Conard right here?
You know what? That is a big head on that mountain right there. If you got a hand, you got to win over the Reaper, Matt Conard. You're talking about a veteran in this game, a person that has made historic moves within pro wrestling. And I think this is exactly what Jordan needs to build his confidence to the next level.
Oh, look out. Conard got caught out the back door, active self-preservation. Hit the canvas very, very hard. That right there is a prime example of why Matt Conard is the standard of wrestling. With pain etched on his face, he continued to push through.
You know, I think I have enough information to begin our treatment together, but I truly don't think that these telehealth sessions are getting the message across. I think we need to meet face to face, one-on-one. How does April 9th sound to you? Maybe then we can finally get to the bottom of what's really killing me. See you April 9th.
What is going to happen, Jim?
Rev, we don't have many answers on this story, but we will get some sort of response as April 9th, Matt Conard will go one-on-one with Dr. Carl Martin. Will Ryse management, will Chris LaRusso sign off on that matchup? If I know Matt Conard, he's going to put in the request.
I have seen
Conard and Dr. Carl are going to go at it, and this will be solved April 9th.
You know what? I've seen it time and time again. Matt is not the type of person that will go against and deny any type of challenge. He'll meet it face to face. But the question is, like you said, Jim, what exactly is going to happen April 9th? I guess all of us are going to have to be here to find out.
Voxx defeated the combination of the legendary Madman, Shirley Doe and Troy Wards to win those Ryse Tag Team Championships. And they are looking to regain those very same titles here from the great success. Well, if Sunseri would have gone any further, I believe we would have been hit with a cease and desist order. So Keith Haught and Tyler Voxx have saved the company.
I knew I heard that somewhere. It sounded familiar. I just couldn't put my finger on it.
Where did these two goofs find those T-shirts? A flea market?
I think right here at the beautiful Uniontown Mall, that's where.
Hey, speaking of which, Rev, go grab me an Annie Ann's pretzel. I'll wait here for you.
I'll eat it. I'll eat it. Trust me.
Man, stiff kick from Voxx. And Keith, using that mash, just bull rushed the superior athlete. And if anything personifies the arrogance of the great success, the fact that they came out here so overconfident, they're joking around, and they're gonna get their lights knocked out here.
Well, I think it's one of the things they have confidence because now they are our current Ryse Tag Team Champions. But I do see some hostility there between Tyler Voxx and Keith Haught because they were our former tag champions. Unfortunately, some people are claiming that the great success cheated their way into the titles. I say they just used their strategy.
I'm going to tell you what. Keith Haught and Tyler Voxx have a chance to regain those championships. And a few years ago, we saw Keith Haught have a barn burner series against then Ryse champion Matt Conard. And while the singles ranks may not have yielded quite as much success for Keith, he may have found a home here in the tag team division alongside Tyler Voxx.
You know what? This is one of the things. You know, typically you see a person like Tyler Voxx, see a person like Keith Haught smiling. You know, they're having fun. They're getting right to action. I think this is a side of both of them that I personally have not seen before. I must say I like it.
And I believe that Voxx and Keith Haught are bouncing the great success all over Uniontown right now.
But here's my thing. You talking about bouncing them all over Uniontown. I don't personally feel that this is a way that you should treat your tag team champions. This is despicable.
What the hell does Alexander have on his head? You know, one thing about Sunseri, Rev, is...
Oh, man! My gosh! Double whammy!
Alexander got squashed. He had nowhere to go.
I feel like they need to put this match back in the ring. Referee George Ross needs to get control of this. This is despicable. This is upsetting. This is absurd. This does not represent what tag team wrestling here at Ryse Wrestling. They shouldn't be treating our champions like this, Jim. And the crowd's actually cheering for this?
You gotta love it.
Love it. I love when my tag team champions show what wrestling is like. Not fighting. Wrestling. Ryse wrestling. Not Ryse fighting.
Keith and Tyler are proving why they are former champions, why they are championship caliber athletes.
Oh, wait a second. I think Tyler Voxx just kicked the post.
Well, Voxx is screaming, and that's the bell. This may be over. Ryse management out here, Chris LaRusso. Rev, you're taller than me. Try to see what's going on here. I'm sorry. I'm on my vantage point. I can't. He can't stand. Right now, I'm getting a look at Tyler Voxx. And if they call the end of this matchup, there goes their title shot. And now this puts LaRusso in a rough spot, because if they end this matchup based on Vox's injury, Keith and Voxx, their title shot goes out the window. That would be the end of this matchup. The champions would retain.
And you know, for those that are watching at home, this match is technically just starting. This is the first time that referee George Ross was able to get control of the match. Unfortunately, right now it's 2-on-1 because Tyler Voxx is injured with that ankle injury, getting checked out in the back right now.
Well, he may have dislocated that ankle, Rev. I mean, you hate to see that.
It's one of those things, unfortunately, I would hate to say that it's nature of the beast, but that's what you sign up for when you're a professional wrestler.
That's how dangerous it is inside those ring ropes. You're damn right.
It is. You know, and maximize that even further on the outside of it, but right now, it's a 2-on-1 game. The match is actually in place right now, and the thing is, Keith Haught not only has to fend for himself, he has to now represent both him and Tyler Voxx.
And Keith Haught is a real fighter. He is a fighter through and through, but I don't know if these odds, I mean, we talked about the miracle in Uniontown earlier this evening with Cowpoke Paul.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're seeing two miracles in one evening. I don't know. You're a man of faith. You tell me how many miracles were allowed, because Keith may be trying to conjure one up right here.
You know what? I am a man of faith. I've had the faith land on my side as well with wrestling. Don't you sorry me, but right now, listen. Oh! It might go into Keith Haught's favor, to be honest. Oh!
Keith uses his weight so effective. Keith Haught has a very unique frame, obviously, but he generates so much momentum.
It's one of those things where you have a little bit of a size advantage, but also when you have lower center of gravity,
absolutely,
it maximizes that power, Jim.
That's why, with that lower center of gravity, that's why Keith generates that bowling ball force, able to just bowl over opponents, as he did in the opening moments of this matchup. But we've seen things completely flip the script here, because Voxx is taken out of here. I'm going to wonder, maybe if we can get Doc Dougherty, our backstage reporter, maybe to try to get an update on Tyler Voxx before we go off the air here, especially if Keith Haught is able to pull this thing out. Will Voxx be able to defend those titles potentially going forward? A lot of unanswered questions are unfolding here. Oh! Diving lariat from Sunseri.
One thing I got to give credit to Joey Sunseri. He knows that there's some type of size advantage that's in the favor of Keith Haught, but notice how he used his body weight to get that extra energy off of those ropes to try to maximize the power in that clothesline there. I got to give him credit. To be this young in the game, that's veteran right there.
I'm going to say it right here. This may ruffle some feathers, but I'm going to say it right now. I sincerely believe, with my bottom dollar, Joey Sunseri is the next Pittsburgh prodigy. He's the next guy that's going to break out on the national scene. I honestly believe it's just a matter of time, because as obnoxious as Sunseri is as every bit as good as he thinks he is.
Absolutely, and one thing I want to also point out too, although this might appear to the fans that this is a 2-on-1, that this isn't fair, I'm going to give credit to the great success right now, because you're looking at solid, cohesive tag team wrestling, even just with this 2-on-1 advantage. I cannot give them credit enough for this, and I think now this is why it's playing a factor of you wanting to maybe get some copyright. They're showing exactly who they're looking like a little bit there, and that's veteranship tag team wrestling right there.
Tag team continuity is really a staple of what makes tag team champions. But right now, there's no tag team continuity for Keith Haught, because his partner is being checked out by our medical staff, and you just saw Keith turn to look to that corner, and there's nobody there.
And it's one of those things, how many times can you keep taking damage? You get on top, but you know, some of that vintage Keith Haught that we're seeing isn't quite as powerful because of the damage he's been taking, but he's still showing a fighting spirit. We got to give him credit for that. Keith Haught is hanging in there right now, longer than many people and many other people would have.
Charging in here. Alexander got squashed, and Sunseri avoided the contact.
Neck breaker right there. Is this it? This is it, baby. Are you kidding me?
And Rev, think about this. Think about this. If Keith is defeated here, you know as well as I do, Keith and Voxx would go to the back of the line for championship opportunities.
And how painstaking would that be? I would tell you this. I've been one that I've earned championship in other places, and it does something to you mentally when you see yourself in one place and now all of a sudden you find yourself in the back of the line working your way back up. It takes a toll on you mentally as an athlete.
Well, we've seen an influx of tag teams here in Ryse Wrestling, and as I said, it's becoming so competitive that if you get your shot at those titles, you better make the best of it. I believe Sunseri showed less coordination than me with that attempt at a maneuver. I don't know what he was going for there.
You know what? Listen, at least he was standing on both legs, Jim. You'll get there.
Yeah, I can do that too. He looked like he was duck walking. What the hell is he doing?
Shot to the midsection.
And unfortunately, Rev, it's a matter of the numbers game here.
You know, it's all a matter of time. And if I was Keith Haught right now, I would try to finish this as quick as possible. And I feel like the Keith is actually giving his best shot of trying to finish this. But as the match continues, his energy is going to wear down. Wait a second. Wait a second.
Wait a minute. That's Tyler Voxx. And Voxx is noticeably limping, but damn it, he's not going to give up this shot. As we've said, if Voxx and Haught are not successful here, they're going to go to the back of the line. Voxx knows how rare of a championship matchup this is.
Here's the thing. How hard can he fight?
Well, he's going to give everything he's got left. I know that much. This has to be against doctor's orders because clearly they wanted him to check out of this matchup, but damn it, he's got too much heart and too much pride to let a chance slip through his hands, and damn it, they may walk out of here two-time Ryse Tag Team Champions. Beautiful spinning neck breaker there.
And I think right there, a little bit of adrenaline is kicking in, but when it wears down, you see he's still favoring that leg.
Keith up top, cut off by Sunseri. And Keith tumbled very hard there.
I got to give credit to Tyler Voxx. I'm pretty sure medical staff's probably like, listen, just chill, let it go. But as an athlete, you're like, I'm not going to leave my brother out there.
Tyler Voxx is fighting on one leg, but he got lawn darted into the canvas.
Uh-oh. Putting pressure on that leg right there. Can he complete it? Right to the bridge.
Muda lock.
He needs to get out of this. Great Alexander holding Keith Haught back. Keith has to make the save.
And Tyler Voxx may let his damn ankle break, and he had no choice. He was risking the rest of his career right there. It was by the thinnest of margins, one errant kick, one misplaced shot, and Tyler Voxx was virtually taken out of this matchup, but you have to admire the heart. However, results are what matter, and the results right here are the great success are still the Ryse Tag Team Champions, and by the way it looks like, Sunseri and the Great Alexander alongside Jordan Styles may have those titles for a long, long time to come.
Tony Johnson is a man of the people. Tony is a great representative of a company, a great champion, and a competitor through and through.
If you built a professional wrestler from the ground up, you are looking at it. PB Smooth, size, power, agility, he checks all the boxes.
Look out! PB Henson! New champion! New champ! Through 5 other competitors here, and is able to call himself the Grand Champion.
With a championship comes money, power, and respect. But what really gets me going is the fact that I won this despite what some people may think of me. I got people that think because I come out to R&B entrance music and because girls are blowing up my phone all day that I'm not focused enough to be a champion. Well, this right here proves otherwise.
Congratulations to PB Smooth. To do what you did at the anniversary show, winning not 1, but 2 high caliber matches definitely shows why you are, right now, the Ryse Grand Champion. But just remember,
If he wants to reach the pinnacle of Ryse, he
will have to defeat one of the men that has defined Ryse.
In our one-on-one encounters,
Johnson knows he has to take a risk.
I'm 1-0.
IceMan kick! He got it! Out of nowhere! Tony Johnson is the #1 contender!
Tony Johnson. And me and you have some unfinished business.
You know, PB Smooth is the man who's currently the Ryse Grand Champion, but Tony Johnson was never defeated for that title.
Does this put a cloud on his reign? Does he have to conquer these competitors in order to prove that he is the rightful champion?
The current and defending champion, Pretty Boy Smooth, will be going one-on-one with the former champion, the IceMan Tony Johnson.
I hope you're ready, Tony. That's a damn sure will.
We will find out once and for all who is the true, undisputed Ryse Grand Champion.
The man that never lost the Ryse Grand Championship, and the man that never had a shot to regain that championship until tonight. The IceMan, Tony Johnson, has all the intangibles to be a champion once again. And if PB Smooth wants to walk out of this building as still the champion, he will have to defeat the undefeated former champion.
And look, you see the focus on the IceMan, Tony Johnson, right now. It's that calm, cool, and collected, almost like the quiet before the storm.
At 6'10" and 272 of solid muscle, the urban playboy PB Smooth has all the God-given talent that an athlete could ask for. Height, speed, agility, power, he has it all. He was built to be a champion. And tonight he has a chance to certify that championship.
I mean, look at that, Jim. That's a mountain of a man. I'll tell you this right now. I was particularly excited about this, not only because it's a main event against two great competitors, but PB Smooth is a giant that can move, that can strike, that has power. And we personally at STP, we have had our eyes on PB Smooth. We had conversations about him, so I'm excited to see this for myself, the Ryse champion tonight.
Man, you can feel the tension in this building, Rev.
It's one of those things people talk about. You can cut it. You can cut it with I don't even think you need a knife right now. I think just flicking the tension ring would cut it right now. That's how tight it is, and they're ear thick.
Referee Nick Brown assigned this contest. And let's be frank here, Rev. It was the pandemic that led to Tony Johnson vacating that championship. That was the entire world shut down. It was COVID protocols that took Tony Johnson out of the six-way matchup where ultimately PB Smooth was able to claim that title. Now, mind you, PB Smooth defeated Colby Reed and then competed in that 6-way matchup in the same night to earn that title. So it's fair to say that both of these men have a legitimate claim to that championship. But the bottom line is the final hurdle here for PB Smooth to really cement his reign is to defeat the undefeated champion that is Tony Johnson.
Absolutely. In other words, man, someone has to go, you know. Tony Johnson just said he's here to win, and just to your point, Jim, you talked about, it's another thing if you lose something physically, but when you lose something that you feel is out of control, it puts a bitterness on you. You feel like you have something to prove yourself. Meanwhile, just like you said, Jim, PB also feels like he has something to prove. If he could just get this win.
Collar and elbow tie-up here, and immediately we're seeing those physical attributes, the height, the leverage advantage from PB Smooth being employed here. Was able to back Tony up, but as you said, the Iceman lives up to his name, will not get rattled with any of the intimidation factors of PB Smooth.
I love what you just said there, and reiterating the Iceman and the whole form of this show, the Iceman Cometh. It reminds me of that song where Outkast said, "What's cooler than being cool? Ice cold." And I don't think there's no more calm, cool, and collected wrestler than the Iceman Tony Johnson.
Waistlock from Johnson, and immediately that natural power we talked about is what allows PB Smooth to neutralize the offensive attempt of the Iceman.
It's almost like PB is saying, listen right here. Doesn't matter how quick you are. If I get that advantage on you for a half second, I'm going to dump you. And that's what you saw right there.
And on an event titled The Iceman Cometh, Tony Johnson, it's all feast or famine. This is his platform. He has a chance to reclaim the championship that he never lost. He is not the Ryse Grand Champion right now through no fault of his own. It was the circumstances of the world, and he has a chance to reclaim it here. But it's feast or famine.
And just as you said, you know, I believe kind of going back to, and I think you and I have both been there to see kind of the accolades that both of these guys have been able to accrue over this time. What do you feel Tony has to do to win and capitalize in this match? Or what do you feel that PB has to do to capitalize and retain his title?
Well, again, to be very direct, Tony Johnson does not have the physical edge in this matchup. He's very talented, but PB Smooth is taller. PB Smooth has more leverage, has a longer reach, has a weight advantage, has a power advantage. Tony Johnson has to employ his experience and his ring generalship, because when it comes to Ryse title matches, Tony Johnson has been on the biggest stage possible. Up and over goes PB.
Oh, he said no, you got to be quicker than that. Oh!
It is scary that an athlete like PB Smooth can ragdoll someone like Tony Johnson.
But we want to talk about calm, cool, and collected. I was talking about that about the Iceman, but that's that same tendency and characteristic with PB Smooth. And I think that's the name of the game. You know, it's a game of chess, not checkers. So,
right there is the physical matchup. Tony Johnson had to swing up with that elbow. PB Smooth was able to swing down for added momentum, and you see the results of it here.
Absolutely. It's almost like gravity.
And what a vertical leap. Someone 6'10". You just don't expect them to be able to reach that height, man. PB Smooth has some hops.
That's one of the things we saw the pre-main event package there. But I've seen Tony Johnson in the gym before, and I had one of the guys that actually told me they saw Tony training in a different way than he did before. Typically, he's about the strength, he's about the reps. He was doing more explosion, more of those things to get you up off your feet. Because when you're dealing with a tree like PB Smooth, you got to do some things that are different to prepare for a match like this.
Johnson avoids the contact. Can he capitalize? And really, PB Smooth seems absolutely ready to be a champion. He has the PB Smooth Scholarship Fund, does a lot of work outside of professional wrestling. He would be a tremendous representative for Ryse Pro Wrestling, but someone like the Iceman, who worked so hard for so long to win that championship, is not going to allow someone to stamp their ticket on his name.
Absolutely. This is a battle of willpower right now. Who wants it and who wants it more?
Leverage maneuver right there with the back heel trip. And again, Johnson trying to neutralize the size advantage. And when PB's on the canvas, that massive height is a non-factor.
Absolutely. I mean, you got to look at that. You know, when you deal with that height, you're talking about PB being 6'10", 272 pounds. All of that torso right there. Tony did a great job of backing him against the ropes to where his body had nowhere to go. Inertia versus inertia right there.
And that goes back to those intangibles, something like ring positioning, as we're seeing right here.
PB favoring the ribs a little bit, Jim.
Well, we've been talking about it all night. If you can't breathe, you can't fight. And that's, again, that's raw power, but we're seeing Tony out-technique PB Smooth here.
Big kick. Right to the jaw.
I don't know if Tony realizes he's in Uniontown because he's on Dream Street right now.
I say one of the main things that I just saw right before that big kick by PB Smooth, PB just getting a little bit of pressure to create that distance right there. It doesn't have to be pretty, it just has to be effective. And if PB can get that gap right there, because he has a little bit of that reach advantage, the more of a gap that he has, the more advantage plays in the fact of PB for having that long reach.
And we're at a virtual stalemate here, Rev. Both men on the canvas, exchanging strikes. As technical and as skilled as they are, it may come down to fisticuffs to see who walks out of here as the champion.
Absolutely.
And again, Tony's got to swing up.
Using those tree trunk legs to get right there. Uh-oh.
Handspring! Oh! This could be the opening that Johnson needs right here.
Is this a turning point, Jim? Is this a turning point?
He may have one critical chance to claim the championship that he never lost. But just like that, the door was closed, and it may be closed permanently.
PB going right back to it, throwing in that submission lock, seeing if he can cut off the circulation, stretch out those ribs of the Iceman Tony Johnson.
Johnson has nowhere to go. Tony Johnson is on an island. And I think back to when he won that Ryse Grand Championship in December of 2019. I was on the call. He went step for step in a classic with Matt Conard. But quite frankly, there's no one that you really can compare to PB Smooth in terms of a physical matchup.
Absolutely. It takes a very, very focused, hard, different regimen to prepare for a giant such as PB Smooth. How do you prepare for someone that is 6'10", nearly 7 feet tall, nearly 300 pounds, but can move like a cruiserweight and match you in regards to speed and agility? How do you prepare for something like that? But I feel like if anyone can prepare for it properly, it's the Iceman Tony Johnson.
Johnson hanging on for dear life. Gets hung up there. And again, very, very smart wrestling. Using that ring generalship once again, Tony knew exactly where he was and knew what to do next to create some offense. But I'm not sure on the floor is the place to be, because that's not where you can win the championship. That may have caught PB in the temple. I couldn't quite catch it from our vantage point, but I know our IndyWrestling.us cameras had got it, and I saw that contact. That was in the sternum, so you figure PB took a shot in the temple, a shot in the sternum.
It's almost like the Iceman giving those harsh, sharp, icicle-like knees and strikes in precision. I think that's what it's going to take right now, and I just want to talk about the focus of the Iceman Tony Johnson. You see, right before he made that leap right off the apron there, how he was leveling in and measuring up where exactly he needed to have that precision. Tony trying to stay up on him.
Could be going for the tope. Tope connected. And that shows you what Tony's willing to put on the line here with a dive like that.
And this is one of those things where it's like every man, each man wants it just as much as the other man. PB wants it, Tony wants it, but who wants it more? As you can see right there, Tony Johnson, we were talking about that kamikaze-like mentality, just throwing all caution to the wind and putting your body on the line. That's how bad these guys look.
And that's what you have to do. That's where the line is drawn between champions and challengers.
Uh-oh.
Look out. Oh no, choke slam on the apron. Tony's body ricocheting on impact, and this one may be over very quickly.
And there's less give right on the corner, right underneath that is where you're going to get that intimacy between the metal beams and those planks of wood that's underneath there. The only thing that's giving are the bones that's underneath your skin. And I don't know, it looked like Tony might have landed on his shoulder or just landed on the side of that rib cage right there. As our ref, Nick Brown's checking on him right now. He can still go.
Rev, a countout would be a disappointing way for this main event to end. But that may be the reality of this situation because Tony hit the apron very, very hard, collapsing to the floor. And our IndyWrestling.us cameras are giving you the up close here.
PB saying he can't win like this.
How wise was that? PB, again, this shows you that PB truly feels like he has something to prove. He wants to beat the former champion to solidify himself as the Ryse Grand Champion.
And I think this just speaks to the heritage and the integrity and the respect that Ryse Wrestling has, that right now we have a current champion that doesn't want to win the easy way. He wants to be a fighting champion. I think that just speaks of the respect that PB Smooth has for the name brand Ryse Wrestling and the history of fighting champions that we have had, including the Iceman Tony Johnson.
Absolutely. Tony Johnson, Matt Conard, Derek Direction, Ziggy Haim. It's really an all-star list of Pittsburgh wrestling for those that have held the championship as the shoulders go down.
Tony trying to fight by any means necessary, getting the job done, throwing in those strong precision forearms right there.
Oh, he got caught. Johnson fighting with a sense of urgency.
Trying to go for that roll. Can he get it?
PB put on the brakes. Finally, Johnson gets him over.
Is this it?
Oh, look out. Enziguri, hell of an effort, but Johnson caught him behind the ear. Handspring. Oh, man. Massive shot to the kidneys.
And that's all it takes. Oh.
Out the back door.
Tony using that athleticism. What?
Power.
What? Oh, my God.
I don't think anyone in the building expected that one.
The Iceman Tony Johnson. What, go for the pin?
New champ. No.
Let's just talk about that. You know, we always talk about the speed and the agility of the Iceman Tony Johnson. First, let's talk about next to strength right there, picking up nearly 280 pounds and delivering that backbreaker right there.
What a matchup.
Absolutely.
What a contest. This is quality professional wrestling right here for the Ryse Grand Championship, March 12th in Uniontown, Pennsylvania.
And I just want to say, if you're excited about watching this at home, imagine what it's like to be here in the building of Ryse Wrestling.
PB avoids the contact.
Oh!
Ran into a brick wall.
Going back to his football days, throwing in that big shoulder.
PB showing the characteristics of a champion. You can see the pain on his face, but he's going to push through it. He's going to push through it to be the Ryse Grand Champion.
Oh.
What power!
And PB's feeling it. PB's feeling it.
And can PB Smooth put this away? Can he finally seal his championship reign here?
Oh!
So effortless.
Let's just talk.
Unbelievable.
Can he retain it?
Hook the leg, and what grit, what tenacity from the Iceman.
Let's just talk about that height right there. Not even a power, just a free fall drop, pretty much 7 feet up in the air, and just letting gravity do its job. Like, gravity, take care of this on your own. Crowd's getting behind Tony Johnson right now.
There is so much respect for both of these high caliber athletes. PB elevates Johnson.
Maybe trying to go for that finish right there.
Look out, Johnson reaching for anything, any sense of solace he can find here.
Giving it a big old kiss, just reminding him.
That is what's motivating Tony Johnson to fight through all the pain. All the bruises, all the bumps will be worth it if he can walk out of here with that championship. PB caught it.
Tony still showing that fighting spirit, that integrity, that last second wheel.
This is how Johnson won the championship, but no water in the pool this time.
Side swipe right there. Oh, big knockout punch, night and night. That could be it. Oh my gosh, Tony staying in this.
You don't get any closer, you just don't.
And you got to wonder, how much is that is just the ability, how much is that just pure will of a fighter to just say, I got to stay into this, I got to stay into this. It's almost like his body's on autopilot.
And now you're seeing the champion start to question himself right here. What does PB Smooth have to do to walk out of here still champion?
It's amazing. Tony's still up on his feet, legs quivering, crawling up the body of PB Smooth.
That's a hell of a lot of toughness from the Iceman.
I got to give it to the Iceman right now. He's still fighting. He's still fighting. And he wants to finish.
If PB wants the championship, he's going to have to take it.
Said, I love you. Almost like he didn't want to do it. Is this it?
The championship coronation. The championship coronation is complete for the Urban Playboy, but he earned it all the way.
And I want to tell you, he definitely earned that. I want to give it to the Iceman, Tony Johnson, for keeping that fight in there. One of the last things I just wanted to point out, I heard PB before fully locking in that victory. He said, I love you, brother. So even to the end, that there was mutual respect from champion to former champion. And I believe down the road, if it's needed, PB is a fighting champion. There might be an opportunity for the Iceman to possibly have an opportunity down the road.
Rev, I believe we're running out of time. So for Rev Ron Hunt, IndyWrestling.us, and Ryse Wrestling, my name's Jim Amato. We'll see you back here April 9th in Uniontown, the Uniontown Mall. I love professional wrestling, and I hope you do too. We'll see you next time.
Sidekick Media Services. We are your sidekick in business for social media, video production, and more. Find out more at sidekickmediaservices.com.